Hello, everybody. So one of the things we've talked about in the past is negotiation. How are you seen as credible? How are you seen as trustworthy? And today I have one of my friends, a superstar in really research and looking how people communicate well strategically. He's CEO and co-founder of Merrill Research, which is a full-service, custom, multidimensional research firm that was started in 1986. And then in addition to that, in addition to running that company and seeing how other organizations can launch products and market well, he started seeing that people were interacting differently and using their bodies when they were talking. And he became interested in body language and founded in 2016 the Merrill Institute for Nonverbal Intelligence, which really is about body language. They have a certification program and a training organization. So you all, I want to introduce you to David Schneer. David, welcome.
Hi, Linda. Thanks for having me.
Sure. Hey, David, one of the things that we've always talked about is, how do you be perceived as credible? And everybody knows, you go to their LinkedIn, you read through their things, you try to get to know a little bit about them, you Google them, you look at their company, but you say there's some body language things, items, behaviors we can do that will help us seem more credible to the people we're speaking with. What are some of the things? What's the be prepared that you would do with body language?
Well, related to body language and all the sources that you just mentioned, you might be able to find a video of somebody speaking, and that therein would give you a sense of their style, the words they use, so that you could begin to prepare to verbally and physically mirror them. Beyond that, there's a lot of things you can do. Number one is you got to get your hands up.
Okay, hands up. All right.
Hands up and your palms up. And back when we were cavemen and cave women, this was an indication that I have nothing in my hands to hurt you, and therefore you can trust me. Very different than if I do this and I show you the back of my hands. So you want to get the palms up and out, right? Mm-hmm. You want to have a thumb display. And this is a little known secret, but sometimes when you're talking to people and they begin to put their thumbs in, that's a sign of lack of confidence and stress. You want to keep those thumbs out, okay? You want to use the pyramid.
And this is the pyramid?
This is a pyramid. When you're making a point, this is a full pyramid or a modified pyramid.
And this is the same. This is okay.
That's right. You see something.
You're not hiding anything. This is still a way of doing it. Okay.
This is not about hiding now. This is about symmetry.
Okay.
And so what this means is I have symmetrical hands, which means there's harmony in what I'm telling you, which means that you should have greater confidence because I'm using this gesture.
Okay.
You also want to be able to frame the things that come out of your mouth. For example, Steve Jobs was famous when he spoke, a very engaging speaker, partly because he used a thing called holding the ball. And he put his hands in front of his face. And what that did, Linda, is it gave concrete form to the words coming out of his mouth and made him more credible.
And that's right. Okay. But what about this? What is, because this reminds me of here's the church and open the doors and tell people, what does this one mean when they're like
this is a pyramid. It's
just a different way of doing it. Just
a different symmetry, different pyramid. Some people like to do this. Some people like to do this. A full pyramid. I've done them both. But the key is you don't want to point. Right.
Because when you point, that's rude. And in some cultures, it's really rude. What do you do instead of this?
Oh, you can blade.
Okay.
Blade.
Can you just do one hand?
You can totally do one hand.
Okay. This is what I do.
Recommended. In fact, lose the laser pen.
Right.
Save that for your cat because they love it. But the the blade works very well. It's a much smoother gesture than that, which is almost a Three Stooges straight in the eyes.
Okay, great.
So
All
there's
right,
lots
now
of things.
what about, I'm doing something. What does this mean?
That means you're using your hands, but you look out of control.
Really? Okay, well, I can't do that anymore.
Yeah.
All righty. What about?
You know why? Because it's distracting. You
Okay.
want hands engagement, but you don't want it,
I was thinking I was moving on, but maybe I'm not. Maybe I'm not moving on. I'm just distracting people. That's interesting. Okay, now I know too that, okay, wait, what did you do there? You just did something with this?
Well, I was going to say that for me, it's distracting. So I don't, it may be attention grabbing for other people, but I think it takes away from you. And the hands are meant to, accentuate, not dominate, right? So you want to use them in a certain way. Bill Clinton, if you remember Bill Clinton, he was down by your way, Arkansas way. He did what was called the Clinton box.
Okay, now Texas and Arkansas, we're not the same, are we?
I know you guys are closer to them than we are.
We are. No, correct.
And Mr. Clinton was an effective speaker as a result of that, again, giving form to the stuff coming out of his mouth.
I see. Okay. Now, I've also noticed colors. And you and I have talked about colors. So right now I have on black and kind of a turquoise. And how does that relate? Does that look like what message does that give, those two colors?
Formal.
Formal. Okay, because black is more like black tuxedo or right. Okay.
The necklace dresses it down.
Okay.
That doesn't seem formal. That seems very down to earth almost, right?
All right. Well, yeah, because it's turquoise, right? So it's an earth color, I guess. Right. Does it say that I'm being truthful? Does it say that what does it say?
It doesn't really say anything about your truth, but your body might. Okay.
All right. So in your colors, you've got a whole big color scheme there. You've got blues and some bright colors. So I know blue means trust, and that's why a lot of like the TSA folks, a lot of people see them as, they can trust or they should be trusting in that uniform. Is that what your blue conveys?
Well, studies show consistently that people who wear the color blue are automatically more liked and more likely to be seen as more credible.
Okay.
Compared to the color brown, for example.
Right.
It's just one of those things where they've just tested it over and over and over again. Now, the color purple, as we know from the Bible, is royalty, right?
Right. And the Purple Heart.
Correct. Spiritual royalty. So the colors do mean things to people. You probably just want to keep it a little muted and under control in a business setting. Save the glam for the nightclubs.
Okay. What about bright red? What does bright red say? So we're a lot of bright red. What does that say?
Well, you see that in Congress. Women wear bright red to stand out and to show power.
And to show power. Okay, yes, that's exactly why I wear it. And I used to wear a lot of Kelly green for money. I want the money. Let's get going, get some money. It is funny though, some colors look better on people too, and they should know that, because that same color that may make them look sick may also make them look not happy about the deal they're negotiating. So in addition to that, you should probably see what colors look the best on you for your skin tone. Now we've seen that, right? Okay, now that you have always told me that lifting your eyebrows, smiling, what does that mean for everybody else? Because sometimes I think people are kind of, doing something weird there with their eyebrows. Tell me what that means.
Well, if you are seeing somebody for the first time and you're shaking hands with them personally, as you're shaking your hand, you want to smile at them. And you want to raise your eyebrows as an extra emphasis about how happy you are to see them.
Okay.
And it works. People remember it.
What if they only raise one?
Well, that's usually a sign of disbelief. if one eyebrow comes up. But when you're meeting somebody, you want to smile. That's the holy grail of relationships and anything, is get that smile with the eyes involved. Contract is a done deal. It's important.
All right. So all of you, thank you for watching. David, thank you for being here. We really appreciate it. Now I'm going to try to hide him down here so I don't do something else crazy. And David, thanks so much for being with us and talking about, how do you really show up, not just be prepared, but be credible. You won't go negotiate. Thanks.